I'm Brian McDermott, Community Chef, and I want to show you a lovely simple little curry. It's a Thai red curry using chicken fillet or chicken breast from your local butcher. So for a simple little curry dish, I'm going to take our chicken fillet and we're going to pan fry that off very, very lightly without colour in this. So it's about a tablespoon into our preheated pan, rapeseed oil, with a good tablespoon, and we're going to add in our chicken slices from our chicken fillet. And it's a light sound you want here because it's very little colour we're after. And that's what we're after, that light little coating, and also that rapeseed oil gives that a slight hint of yellowness to it. And that's just to season in our chicken. That'll take about a minute. What's lovely about this recipe is it's lovely and quick and simple. So while your chicken's starting to cook there, I've got on a pot of boiling water, and simply to that I'm going to add some rice. I prefer basmati rice, just gives a lovely fragrant flavour, and I'm not into highly powdery flavouring up your rice. Just keep it nice and simple, nice and plain, some fresh herbs at the end if you wish. That's going into some boiling water is our basmati rice. And a rule with rice is always to wash out your rice, get rid of the starch, and then allow about 3.5 times water to rice. Then your rice won't stick, you'll have a perfect light fluffy rice. So there's your chicken, almost coloured this stage the whole way around. And now to that I'm going to add about a tablespoon of flour. If you're celiac, just use some potato flour, and the flour's to help thicken this up as a lovely curry. So it's about a tablespoon, and the chicken's going to get coated in that now, and very, very quickly I'm going to add in our curry spices then. So let the flour go into the chicken. There we are. I'm going to turn the heat down slightly, and I'm going to add in our curry spices. Now I'm a big fan of using just quite a clean label curry spice, because if I were to mix 8, 10, 12 spices together you get a different flavour every time. So go for a good quality medium heat curry powder. You have in there your cumins, your corianders, you have your chilli in there, all good big heat indicators for this recipe. So I'm going to sprinkle in our curry powder now, and it's important that this goes in at this stage so that the chicken takes in the curry powder, and that allows the flavour to penetrate deep and into the chicken. Now if you wish in this recipe you want a little bit more heat, you can add a lovely fresh chopped chilli to that. And there's two different heats that go on with the curry. You've got the chilli heat, which gives you that sort of cough, and then you've got this real slow build heat in your mouth. That comes from spices. So that's the 2 degrees of heat with a curry in general. So look now, that smells fantastic at this stage. The spices are just taken into our chicken. And I'm going to add to that about a tablespoon of tomato puree. That's to give a good deep rich red colour and flavour to this. So it's about a tablespoon. Work that into your chicken for about 20 seconds. And then look at the dryness in that pan. That's to do with the chicken being coated properly. So there's no nutrition loss and there's no flavour loss. And with chicken fillet or chicken breast, which has relatively very little flavour, it's excellent for the likes of a curry. It's also very lean, which is low in fat, which is excellent for this. And now to this, I'm going to add some chopped red pepper because it's a red Thai style curry. And now the water's going to come out of our peppers, which is what we want. I'm going to add in about a half a chopped onion to this. Okay. And then I'm going to add in about a clove of chopped garlic. There we go. And we're going to work at that for a minute or two, just to let the onion sweat, the flavour come out of the peppers, the lovely sweetness coming from the sweet red pepper. So now that you've broken down the onion, the flavour of the onions come out, the sweetness of the pepper has come out, we're going to add to that some fresh chicken stock. You can make your own chicken stock, but I'd recommend you just use a very low salt chicken stock cube for that. And a good ratio is about 1 chicken stock cube to 2 litres, not any less than that, because stock should always be a lovely light carrier of flavour, not a dominant flavour. The flavour here is going to come from the curry and from the chicken. And I'm using stock just to be a little bit more healthier with this. So enough stock just to coat the bottom of the pan. Now that's going in hot so that it doesn't slow down your cooking. And you'll notice, there we are, there's that food starting to talk to us, starting to dance, which is what I love in the kitchen. And we're going to turn the heat down slightly on that, let that stock just evaporate slightly. And there's a beautiful aroma and a lovely Thai curry flavour starting to fill the kitchen. And to that we're going to add some coconut milk. I love the low fat coconut milk. Coconut milk in general would have a high content of fat, but the low fat is equally as good with flavour. So I'm going to add that in, and that's going to give a lovely sweetness to this as well. And now you're going to see the colour of this starting to develop into a true flavour and true colour for a curry, particularly a red Thai curry. And leave that, let it slowly cook out for 4 to 5 minutes there to get your chicken thoroughly cooked through, to allow the spices to come out in terms of the flavour and the balance of the sweetness of the pepper and the coconut and onion to all help each other in there. So once you've let the chicken cook out for a few minutes, the simplicity in this is that the rice will be ready at the same time. This is a 15-minute dish once you cut up that chicken and your vegetables. So what happens at the very end of a curry is you get separated flavours and you get this harshness in the back of your tongue. So you need a little bit of fat just to round that together. And I'm using just a small amount, about 2 tablespoons of cream. And I don't use creme fraiche in this recipe because it's split slightly. So there goes your little bit of cream, and that's going to round your flavours together. And look at the difference in that now. That's coming together as a lovely, simple little Thai red curry. And I'm just going to let that cook and let the cream cook and get those flavours pulled together for about 30 seconds now, and try to avoid boiling that once the cream goes in. And then I'm going to drain our basmati rice, which is cooked. Look at the amount of room that has, and that gives you a lovely clean rice when you do that. So strain that off, and you're going to add that, once it's drained, back into the same pan, and just a little bit of heat under that just for about 10-20 seconds, and that's going to dry our rice slightly. And now we're ready to serve that, so I'm going to heat up my plate and I'm going to get a mould for the rice. I'm going to serve a curry alongside it and a lovely bit of fresh coriander over the top of that. There's our lovely warm plate, which is always essential with any food. And now, with your rice, I want you just to take a cup, can be an egg cup, can be any mould, get it into your rice, pack it up, tighten it up, and we're just going to pat that down, let it sit and let it rest there just for a little minute, and that's going to give you a lovely dome of rice. And you're going to turn that up on the plate or a bowl, let that sit and rest, and that just gives you a lovely little bit of extra skill at home if you're entertaining. So look at that. Simple amount of ingredients in there, lovely tender chicken, beautiful smell, real spicy flavours coming here. And before I lift off my mould, I'm just going to serve that onto the plate. Loads of sauce here, ideal with a little bit of naan bread, particularly if it's homemade. And there's a lovely portion, and we're going to lift off our mould of rice. Look at what you get, perfect mould of rice. And then lastly, I just want to put a little bit of lovely fresh coriander onto that. Now, you can love or hate coriander. I'm not a massive fan, but with curry, I just love it. So I'm going to do it 2 ways. I'm going to put a little bit onto your rice, just to garnish that up, and then I'm quite literally going to break the leaves onto the top of the curry. And to me, that's one of the simplest, healthiest little quick curry dishes that you can put together with a medium heat that suits all of the family, using our chicken fillet or our chicken breast.